Hello YouTube, my name is Nick, and today I have an album review to bring to you of this album right here. This is Voir by Maestus, released by Glossalia Records. Maestus is a blackened doom metal band from Oregon, and this is their debut album. They have an EP released prior to this called Scarlet Lakes, and I haven't listened to that yet, so I won't say anything about it. Now, Maestus play blackened doom metal, but they also can successfully pull off many other genres, including like death metal, regular black metal, doom metal, funeral doom, progressive, experimental, ambient, etc., etc. So to say that this is up my alley is an understatement, because this is everything I love. It's a mishmash, an amalgamation of everything that I love, and in my opinion, these guys have all the potential in the world to become a large name in the genre, and with this album, they use all that potential to make one of the most successful sounding albums I've heard in a very, very long time. So, let me get on with the parts of the whole. So, I'll start with the guitars. The guitars easily move the album along. Sometimes they follow the vocals, sometimes they don't. You'll get some amazing clean guitars, you'll get some amazing distorted guitars, and while some of the music does kind of sound like funeral doom, it never gets that super deep low-end Ahab style guitar tone. It's usually in the mid to high range tone, so that's kind of unique for the genre, I think. And one thing I like to mention is how interesting, catchy, and just unfair some of the riffs are. The main clean guitar riff in the first song, Shrouded by Peaks, Valleys Speak, is just the best and worst earworm I've heard in a long time. I'll be walking down the halls in school, and that riff's playing. I'll be taking a shower, and that riff's playing in my head. Be eating dinner, and that riff's playing in my head. It just plays on, and the song is so long, and it carries on, the riff carries on for an extended duration in that song. It just gets stuck in your head, and it doesn't get irritating. It's pleasant, yet super annoying, because it'll get stuck in your head, and I just love that, because that's hard to pull off in a genre like this. So, the guitars are amazing. I can't really say anything bad about them. Perfectly played, perfectly recorded and mixed. They're not too loud, never too high-pitched. Just everything about them is great. Now, I'll move on to the drums. These are not your typical doom or black metal drums. They are at times slow and at times very fast, and to say that helps the album is an understatement. Excuse me. Because the drums, in my opinion, are the most important thing in an album like this, because if you have really boring drums and it goes on too slowly, then it's just gonna nag down the rest of the instruments, because it sounds so forced or uninteresting, where it just gets really boring. But the drums here, you get some super fast double bass, you'll get some blasts, you'll get some random fills and tempo changes, and other times it'll be super slow, like you'd want out of a doom record like this. So the drums carry everything on its shoulders nicely. Everything sounds great. There are a couple slip-ups, I would say, in the double bass playing, but that doesn't detract anything at all because you barely notice it. I just have a weird ear for that. So, on to the vocals. These vocals have one of the most impressive, or this vocal performance has one of the most impressive ranges I've ever heard. You will get some amazing clean vocals, some kind of old school throatier death metal growls, and some screams and screeches, some kind of a suicidal, depressive black metal kind of vocal. But these aren't your typical suicidal, depressive black metal caterwauling vocals that are really ear-piercing and just off-putting. These are some of the most spine-tingling, heart-breaking, soul-crushing screeches and screams that you'll ever hear in any musical genre. I think it's the most important thing to this album. It's what dominates most of the vocal performance, even though you do get those interspersed clean vocals and a couple growls here and there. But the way that this guy like belts out these truly emotional screams just gives me the chills all the time. The first song, Shrouded by Peaks, Valley Speak, the second part to the Opaque Shadows and Frame Stillness movement, and the fourth part, you just get some of the most amazing screams and wails that you'll hear in any record, like ever. They're amazing. I can't say more about them, really. You just got to hear them. The conviction and the authenticity of the vocals just make it so great. And on the first song, Shrouded by Peaks, Valley Speak, I've said that like 10 times now, there are these amazing soprano vocals done by a female named Chrysalis Parker, I believe. And while they have no lyrics attached to them, they are kind of just there for a backup instrumental, and that makes that song just so much more haunting, scary, and sad. Everything about this album is just soul-crushing, earth-shattering, and just makes you want to shoot yourself. This is one of those albums that I've listened to more than I should. I probably listened to this 25 times since I had it, and it just came out here recently. So this is one of those albums that is a perfect debut. These guys have all the potential in the world. They can do whatever they want in the genre, and they have done it so with this album right here. So one very small gripe I have with the album is that I think that the first song, Shrouded by Peaks, Valley Speak, the 22-minute song, should be the last song instead of the first song, because I think it ends too abruptly with the song Per Eternus, the fourth movement of the section of songs. So if I could change something about the album, I think the track listing should go Weeping Granite, Algid Lungs, Tears of Sky, then the 4-part movement, and then Shrouded by Peaks, Valley Speak. So that's not a negative about the album, that's just kind of what I think, and maybe you'll think differently. I just think it helped the overall movement of the record, because it does start slowly, and you get this giant, massive song that all alone could probably be an album by itself, and then it kind of ends very suddenly. So for a score, I don't do this often, but I'm going to give this a perfect 10 out of 10. This is one of those albums I could listen to forever, and I probably will be listening to. So they've done the impossible and made a perfect debut. Check this album out. I'm going to leave a link to their Bandcamp in the description below. This is a pretty limited album, so if this piques your interest, then definitely go buy this and support them, because they're amazing. And that's going to be the end of this video, and as a spoiler for the next review, I'll see you next time.